Hello YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to Mass Effect. I wanted to say 2 for some reason. Welcome back to Mass Effect episode 12. Now, this is the second time of me recording this episode, so a bit of a bummer. I did record both my video, my audio, but my hard drive ran out of space at the time of recording. I did not notice, so I'm here to re-record it, and thank God for the save feature of this game, so I could go back to this point of the game and, you know, basically re-record the episode. Now, I've managed to find a fix for my desync issues, and quite of a straightforward one, something you'd expect to fix the issue, and that is to actually cap the game at 60 frames per second and record at 60 frames per second, so that is a constant frame rate, and it shouldn't get messed up in Premiere Pro. Now, you might think, well, why didn't I do that earlier, or why did I even consider recording in 240 frames if the captioning device can only do 60? Well, that's because I never had this issue before. I recorded, like I said, I think a few times now, 120 FPS gameplay with 60 FPS capturing, and it worked constantly. But with this new setup, I have that issue, but I'm kind of positive that we managed to fix that issue. Now, in today's episode, because it is after a major mission like Noveria, and if you don't know what happened in Noveria, I suggest you go check out the last 3 episodes. But in short, we went to Noveria, Geth were there, so were some ancient bugs from somewhere called Rachni that were apparently wiped out, but Saren had found an egg and hatched it. Well, not Saren, but a company that he has invested in have found an egg, hatched it, tried to clone them and make an army. It went south. Basically, you know, an experiment gone wrong. And also, sort of lost my thought of, no, the train of my thought. Is that how you say it? What I mean by this is that on top of the cloned army, they also needed the Rachni Queen that they had hatched to find the location of the Mi relay. So for some reason, we don't know why, but Sarah needs the Mi relay, and it's probably linked to the conduit. We also now have the location of the Mi relay, but we're not going to go through it yet because we do not know to what system we need to jump with Mi relay, because it links to dozens of systems. So that's sort of a short version, but there's a lot to check out, so I recommend you go check out the last 3 episodes. We're here in the debriefing room as we left off in the last episode, and today we're gonna have a talking episode mostly, since like I said, we came off a major mission, so now there's new dialogue options and stuff to discuss with our crewmates, so we're gonna be doing that at this episode. I know from recording it the first time I did that this will be a bit longer episode than normal, so strap yourselves in and enjoy, because I really fancy the dialogues myself, and they're really well done, so I'd recommend you stick around. But let's get this episode on the way, and first of all walk out of the conference room, because we've been here for 3.5 minutes, Jesus. And first things first, we're gonna go to the galaxy map, so we fly to the Citadel, because in this game, even after you finish a mission, you're still on the planet. So before we start talking to the crewmates, we're gonna fly out of Noveria and go to the Citadel to sort of, you know, have refuel, restock, have a little bit of shore leave, give the crew a chance to get off Normandy and so on.
Commander. We got a transmission coming in from the Citadel. Top priority clearance.
Oh, really? From who?
Is it the ambassador?
It's not his signature. I think it's from the council. I'll patch it through to the comm room.
Alright, thanks. I guess we're going back then. Hey. It's probably the council, if anything.
Commander Shepard, we've received information that may be critical to your mission against Saren.
So considering how the council has treated me, I'm gonna be a bit aggressive here.
You didn't seem that interested in helping me before. Why now?
The council agreed that Saren was dangerous, Commander. That was why we made you a Spectre. We only balked at unleashing the full force of the Citadel fleet against him.
Okay, fair enough.
Nobody on the council wants to see you fail, so we contacted you with this latest information.
We've received an urgent message from one of our infiltration regiments in the Traverse.
You mean spies?
Spectres tend to attract attention, Commander, but they are only one arm of the council. Special task groups are often a better option for monitoring developing situations.
I mean, I
We
suppose that's
currently
true.
have several infiltration units scattered throughout the border regions of Citadel space. This particular unit was gathering intel on Saren.
And?
What did they find?
Unfortunately, the message we received was little more than static.
Oh,
The infiltration team must be in a situation where they can't set up proper interstellar communications.
Yikes.
But the message was sent on a channel reserved for mission-critical communications. Whatever they were trying to tell us, we know it was important. Considering your interest in Saren, we thought you might want to investigate this. Find out what happened to our team. The signal originated from the planet Vermeer.
Alright, well, that's legitimate enough. Thanks for the info.
I'll look into it.
The Council prefers not to become involved in the specifics of Spectre activities. We only want you to be aware of all your options, including Vermeer. Good luck,
Yeah, okay,
Commander
makes
Shepard.
sense.
We will keep you advised if we learn anything else.
Okay, thanks. Back to the galaxy map, to the Citadel we go, and then we're gonna talk to the crew. You okay, lad? What are you doing? Get off the fucking desk, come on. That's not cool. So as you can see, we're still in Novaria. To the Citadel, we jump. And here you can see the cutscene of us leaving Novaria, a very snowy planet like it was. Glad to be done with this. It's really, I mean, that kind of weather, it gets old. It's fun for a few days, and then it's like, yeah, no thanks, basically.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Another one.
Commander, I'm glad you were in the area. We've got an emergency situation, and you're the only one I can trust to get the job done.
What's going on?
How can I help, Admiral?
Biotic fanatics have hit a medical research station with a psychotropic drug. The drugs have temporarily driven researchers crazy, and the biotics are effectively using them as human shields.
That sounds kind of messed. Okay, so I just can't run
So
in.
if I shoot everything that moves, a lot of researchers are gonna die.
Exactly. A normal team could handle the biotics, but a lot of innocent researchers would die during the operation. That's why I contacted you. I'm hoping you can keep the casualties to a minimum.
Okay, you
I'll
count on
do
me,
everything
sir.
within my power to bring those researchers back safely, Admiral.
I know you will, Commander. I'm sending you the station coordinates now. Fifth lead out.
Okay. Land. Oof. Wait, did I mention? Oh yeah, managed to install 4K like 4K resolution cutscenes for this game that are pre-rendered, and then these ones obviously that I shot in the game. Those use the HD textures I use from the mods. Anyway, I know the Presley doesn't have anything new, so we're just gonna let him do his job. I'm gonna go up to the bridge and hear a comment from Joker, then go downstairs, talk to Caden, Liara, and then further downstairs, talk to Garrus, Ashley, Rex, and Tally.
Boy, am I glad to be off of Novaria. I don't know which was worse, the cold or the corporations. One will freeze your balls off, the other will sell them out from under you. With all due respect, Commander.
Fair assessment. Keep on doing what you do,
I have to
Joker.
go.
Alright, see ya.
See you. Now, oh, it looks like the guy who has climbed on the desk has climbed down. That's nice to see. That's nice to see. Let's make our way down below. Just casually walk against the door like it's nothing. Alright, there's Caden. What's up?
Do you have some time to talk now, Commander?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm listening.
Let's hear it, Lieutenant. I'm always open to my officers.
We've played it pretty close to the book so far, but we're a long way from backup. We've got some tough calls to make. I'm just saying, try to leave yourself a way out. I've seen what cutting corners can do, and I'd hate to have that happen to you, Shepard. Commander.
You concerned for me?
It's a personal observation, Caden.
I don't want to step on anyone else's toes, especially if you're if I have misread your interests.
You mean Liara, I guess.
Someone? You're referring to our young Prothean expert.
I think she's older than both of us put together, but yeah.
Fair point.
There's a lower deck rumor that she's interested in you as more than a source of Prothean data. She's a very interesting lady. Not to my tastes, but I never claimed to be big on alien culture.
I mean, yeah, I think you discussed it earlier sometime in this playthrough. Liara is the person I want to romance, sort of love interest. So, Kaidan, if you're sort of jealous here, then I'm gonna break your heart.
You seem awfully worried about my personal affairs.
It's just that we don't have much downtime these days. I like being around you, but I don't want to take up your personal time.
I mean, I'm here, aren't I?
Look, you didn't want to talk about Liara, did you? What's your real issue?
You're right. Sorry, it wasn't.
It's okay.
Liara's not my main concern.
Spit it out, boy.
The decision you've made, Shepard. Let me be clear about that.
That's good to hear.
It's just my experience that once someone lets something slide, it tends to pick up speed. You get my meaning?
Bad experience?
Talk to me, Kaidan. You got a little black rain cloud sitting over your head.
I'll try to keep the deck dry.
Bruh.
You know the records about the biotic training out on Jump Zero? They're all classified because the Alliance made mistakes.
I mean, everyone does.
After first contact, Kinetics was set up to track Element Zero exposures and develop implants for humans. Once we had an embassy on the Citadel, Kinetics could bring in experts instead of taking it slow.
And we couldn't do it alone?
Is there some reason we couldn't learn it on our own?
They didn't know where to start. Hell, it took a couple of years to even link biotics and Ezo. Forget trying to get the kids to move stuff. They had trouble just helping them not break their own limbs. And their choice of teachers didn't help much.
So who were the teachers then?
The only experts would have to be aliens.
Dead on. Turians, actually. That's why Kinetics kept it a secret. They were afraid of what people back home would think, asking the Turians for help when we just fought a war with them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of controversial. I'm all for second chances, and you know, you need to put, besides the differences, for certain stuff over time, but just fighting a war with them and then asking Turians to help them with something is sort of messed, I suppose. But Normandy, the vessel we're in, is a Turian human gold development project, so we've gone a long way.
The Asari would have been more acceptable than the Turians.
Yes, but the company didn't go through the Citadel. It would have made Earth look weak, so they discreetly hired some Turian mercenaries.
Yeah, I mean, human independence, I guess. Could have asked for help. Well, I just spoke some randomness. Could have asked for help from you. Sorry, I don't think going through the Citadel would have made us look weak. So you had a bad teacher then?
Get your knuckles rapped a few times, Lieutenant?
Yeah, you could say that. Our instructor was a Turian by the name of Commander Vernus.
Oh,
To introduce himself, he liked to say, "I was at the helm of the dreadnought that killed your father." Well, I told him
Jesus.
in the war, he'd retired to Vancouver. My family had an inland home that matured to new beachfront.
Okay.
Vernus had it in for me after that. He cut corners, pushed hard. I mean, you either came out a Superman or a wreck. A lot of kids snapped. A few died. The point of all this, I guess, is that when you cut corners, it's not always obvious who pays for it.
But why tell me?
So why are you telling me this? Is there something I can do to help you get over it?
I'm 32, Shepard. You don't serve as long as I have without coming to terms with yourself.
Okay, fair enough.
If someone is special to you, you help them. Try to keep them from making mistakes.
Special.
Special, huh?
If I'm out of line, just say the word.
Well, you kind of are out of line. The first game sort of forces you to choose between two love interests. They force it on you, Liara and Kaidan, or Liara and Ashley. I mean, I guess I could say you're not out of word, but really the definition of special matters here. Because if special to Kaidan means that a possible love interest, but special to my character in this case, or to me in the game, would mean, you know, a close friend, it's two different things. My character in-game, unfortunately, for Kaidan, is not into men. She's into females, and Liara just happens to be an alien female, kind of attractive, so on for her. So I'd like to stay, but Caden is a nice dude, so I'd like to stay friends with him. So unfortunately, I guess I'll just have to say this line, which is kind of an aggressive route. Well, no, not really, but I'd like that there would be a choice between here. There's something like, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not into you like that.
Sorry, Caden. This was just a battlefield thing.
There's my answer then. I'm sorry to have bothered you, Commander. I got some mixed signals. With your permission, I should return to my duties.
Well, he handles it well, and actually you do say sorry, so it's not the end of the world. But I do need your opinion for something else.
Anything you need, Commander?
Tactical appraisal.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Killing Saren's, what was Benezia anyway? Second in command? Advisor? Anyway, it should set him back a bit. I'm sure Dr. Tassoni's hurting, though. Poor kid. Having to kill her own mom.
Yeah, actually, that's a fair point. I should talk to her, and if you didn't know, well, Benezia was a Novaria, and she was some sort of brainwashed or something, and turned against us. She helped us for some time after we defeated her first, and then she could snap out of Saren's control, and then got back into it, so we had to put her down. What do you think about the Rectank
Any
Queen?
opinion on the Rachni?
Off the record, if we had the option, I'd as soon have left it to the Council. We weren't out here during the Rachni War. I'm not sure we have any business getting involved.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess. That's actually a good call,
We'll
but
talk
you can't do that in
another
the
time,
game.
Lieutenant.
Commander?
You can't do that, so it's a shame. It would be the best option, but I argued that the Ragnar Queen understands why they had to be put down and promised to do anew. I'm all for second chances. I won't commit mass genocide. Alright, Liara, how you doing? Liara's actually
If you
quite
are
tall.
here to talk about Benezia's death, you need not bother. She brought it upon herself.
I mean, she was your mother.
Don't pretend it doesn't bother you. She was your mother.
She was. But she was not. I prefer to remember Benezia as she used to be, before she was corrupted by Sovereign's power.
She's still with you. It's a nice way of saying it.
The best of your mother lives on in you. Her determination, her intelligence, her strength.
That is kind of you to say. I appreciate your concern, but I am fine. Benezia chose her path, just as I have chosen mine. I am with you until the end, Shepard.
That's good to hear.
Maybe we could pick up where we left off. You were telling me about your interest in the Protheans.
Actually, I think I was talking about my interest in you, and making a fool of myself in the process. As I said, I am not used to dealing with people, especially humans. I did not really know much about your species when we first met, Shepard. I found it hard to take humanity seriously. Your kind always seemed so rushed and high-strung.
Well, compared to you, Liara, we don't live for 1,000 years. We only live for in reality, in real world, we're lucky if we hit 100. But it's still like, yeah, that's 1/10 of their lifespan. Imagine living for 1,000 years. That's ridiculous.
We don't have the luxury of time. And Asari can live for 1,000 years. We're lucky if we hit 150.
Yeah, exactly.
That is true. At first I thought that was a weakness of your species. After spending time with you and your crew, however, I think it may actually be an advantage. You humans are creatures of action. You pursue your goals with an almost indomitable determination. It is an admirable trait, but also an intimidating one.
How so?
You're scared of us?
Unfortunately, the rest of the galaxy sees humanity as something of a bully. You run over anyone in your path to get what you want. It is up to people like you to change their minds, Shepard.
Me?
Why me?
There is a reason the Council chose you to become a Spectre. They saw something special in you. The best of what humanity has to offer. I looked into your history. I know what you did during the Blitz. It was a remarkable display of courage and heroism.
I mean, you could have just asked. You didn't have to go and look it up yourself.
You didn't need to go behind my back. I would have told you whatever you wanted to know.
I apologize, Commander. After our last conversation, I was afraid I would say something stupid again.
I
wanted to
suppose
know
that's
more
fair.
about you, to understand what made you into the woman you are. There is something compelling about you, Shepard.
Really? Well, I'd like to believe
Are
that.
you sure you're interested in me? Or is it my visions of the Protheans?
I admit, your connection to the Protheans had something to do with my initial interest, but it has grown beyond that. You intrigue me, Shepard, but I was not sure if it was appropriate to act on my feelings. I thought there might already be a relationship between you and Lieutenant Alenko.
You're a female! Yeah, which is absolutely fine. Lesbian, gay, male, male, female, female, male, female, whatever goes for you works. I have no issues with that. It's not serious, but Kate and I are just
The
friends.
Lieutenant and I are just friends. Nothing more.
My mistake, then. I am not as adept at understanding human relationships as I thought. But what about us, Shepard? Is there a mutual attraction, or was I wrong about that too?
Nah, you weren't. I'm attracted to you. Just want to be friends, you were wrong. No, I mean, like I said.
No, you were right. There is something between us.
I knew it, and I knew you felt it too. But does this not seem rather strange? Why do I feel so close to you?
Right
We have only known
now,
each other a short
close
time.
to you.
We are from two
Great
different
song.
species. We have almost nothing in common. This makes no sense.
I mean, we have one thing in common.
Saren wants both of us dead. That's something.
That is not the most romantic reason, is it? You make it all sound so dangerous.
You scared?
Don't tell me a little danger puts you off.
This is all a bit overwhelming. I am not used to this. You. I need some time.
That's fine. I understand. This is, you need to be understanding in these kind of things.
Take all the time you need, Liara. I'll be here.
Thank you, Shepard. Let's just talk about something else for now.
Alright, well, maybe just quickly about Benezia
Do you know
again.
why Benezia joined up with Saren?
Benezia was swept up in events beyond her control and lost herself. She fell under the spell of indoctrination and became part of the very thing she wanted to stop. But I will remember and honor how she lived, not how she died. My mother was strong, kind, and beautiful, and now she is gone.
Shame. I'm sorry.
Are you gonna be okay?
You are kind to Shepard. I do miss her, and I grieve for what happened to her. But I will not let my grief interfere with what we are trying to accomplish.
Okay. Determined. I'll see you next time then, Liara. Stay safe? No. Stay
I
strong.
should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Alright, that's the second deck done. We're 23 minutes in. We still have to talk to 4 other people, so hang in there. But yeah, it's a shame that we couldn't help Benezia. The brainwashing was that strong. Don't know exactly how that's possible, but yeah, unlucky for her, I guess. Let's actually talk to the requisitions
Looking for supplies?
officer.
Let's see what
Yeah.
you got.
You bet, Commander.
Okay, so we have Hydra armor. And we have heavy armor. I mean, not really what we're looking for. We're currently wearing Onyx by Aldrin Labs. We have armor plating on the medical interference. Ooh, yeah. This is a cool one because it heals us and gives us toxic resistance. That's very nice. Just put that on. Alright, Garrus, what's up?
Good to see you.
You've been with C-Sec a while. Have you seen much action?
Well, not as much as you, but yeah, I've seen some interesting things.
Anything
I bet
specific?
You have. Anything in particular that stands out?
I remember this Solarian geneticist I was sent to investigate. That case was a bit disturbing.
How so?
What happened? Why were you investigating him?
I was tasked with tracking black market trade on the Citadel. Most of it harmless, nothing I needed to pursue. But during the course of my investigation, I noticed an increase in the trade of body parts, organs mostly. We usually get a few of those, but not the numbers I was seeing. We weren't sure if there was a new black market lab or if some freak was harvesting organs from citizens.
God,
You've seen
is that
this
common?
before on the Citadel?
Every so often, some lab sells unwanted parts through the black market, but they're not as bad as the psychos. I remember this one L-Corps diplomat we caught in my first year on the job. He was hacking people up and selling their organs. Had the station in a bit of a panic. But this
I can
case wasn't
imagine,
a clear cut.
Jesus.
Turns out there was more going on than we first realized.
So what did
So
you
how
find?
did you figure out what was happening?
First, we got a hold of a sample and ran DNA tests. The weird thing was, the match led us to a Turian who was still alive and was very convinced he'd never lost his liver. After a bit of digging, I discovered this Turian worked briefly for Dr. Salion, the geneticist. So we went to his lab hoping to find evidence of cloned organ development, but there was nothing. No Salarian hearts, no Turian livers, not one Krogan testicle.
Krogan testicles?
You're kidding, right? Why would anyone want Krogan testicles?
Some Krogan believe that testicle transplants can increase their virility, counteract the effects of the genophage. It doesn't work, but that doesn't stop them from buying. They'll pay up to 10,000 credits each. That's 40,000 for a full set.
Mad.
Somebody's making a killing out there.
Yeah. Someone's
What'd you do
getting
about the
rich.
geneticist?
I brought in some of his employees for interrogation to see if I could get them to talk. While I was interviewing one of them, I came across something suspicious.
Interviewing?
You mean
Question mark?
threatening? Was that really necessary?
Maybe, maybe not. Either way, it paid off. One of my detainees started bleeding profusely during the interview. We offered to patch him up, and he got frantic, freaked out. I ordered a full exam to find out what was going on. Our medics found incisions all over his body, some of them fresh. That was our big problem. These people weren't just Dr. Salion's employees. They were test tubes. Walking, living test tubes.
God
He was growing
damn.
parts inside these people?
Exactly. He cloned their organs right inside their own bodies. Then he harvested them and sold them off. Most of the victims were poor. He'd pay them each a small percentage of the sales, but only if the organs were good. Sometimes wouldn't grow properly, so he'd just leave it in them. Most of them were a mess, but only on the inside, hidden so nobody could see it.
I hope
That's
he got what
awful.
he deserved.
That's the worst part. We never caught him.
Why not?
What?
What the hell happened?
He ran, blew his lab, grabbed some of his employees, and headed for the nearest space dock. By the time I found out, his ship was already leaving. He threatened to kill his hostages if we tried to stop him.
But you went after him anyway,
So they just
right?
let him go?
I ordered Citadel Defense to shoot him down, but CSEC headquarters countermanded my order. They were worried about the hostages, worried about civilian casualties if the ship was destroyed so close
I
to the
see.
Citadel. I told them those hostages were dead anyway. We just used them to make more organs. But they wouldn't listen.
I mean, you can't really shoot a ship down within the hemisphere. Is that the right word to use for a space station? Like, it can fall down onto the space station itself and cause some damage.
It's
So
not worth the
I
risk.
agree with them in
You
this
pursue
case.
the vessel and disable it. That's the best choice.
They sent the military after him.
Yeah,
and
like
he
that
got
would
away
make more
just the
sense.
same. Yes, they did.
How?
I went
He's a
to him
scientist.
and told him what I thought of him and his policies. He said if I didn't like it, I could quit. Well, I almost did. All they had to do was disable
I mean, you
that
did
ship,
in the end.
Stop him from running. Maybe the hostages die, maybe they don't, but at least we stopped the bastard responsible for it all.
I mean, you can, I guess, but to what end? Because if you let the hostages die, you're not really that much better, are you? You're just a...
If you don't care
Well,
about
not
the
a
fate
dirty
of those
cop, but,
hostages, then you're no better than he is. You're just a terrorist with a badge.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah,
Doesn't
that
make it
word.
any easier, but I see your point. Just wish I could have stopped him. That's all.
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Salion?
Do you know what happened to him?
I sent out feelers from time to time, hoping to find something. I thought I'd found him a while back. He changed ships and changed his name to Dr.
Okay.
Hart. His idea of a joke, I guess. I told the military, but they weren't convinced.
Fucking hell.
I got the transponder frequency for his new ship, but I just can't get anyone to check it out.
I'll check out the coordinates
When
I
we
get
have
a
time,
chance.
we'll check that
I was
out.
hoping you'd say that. But Commander, take me with you when you go. If If it's Leon, I'm gonna be there when you find him.
Alright. You bet.
Commander?
Okay, what's up, Ash?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
How we doing?
You mean the Rachni, right? Like I said, the Rachni are dangerous. They proved that 2,000 years ago. I think it was a mistake to let them go. But that wasn't my call to make. It was yours. You know, you really should talk
she
to
was there,
about
but...
her mom. She has to be hurting. Just saying, Commander.
Yeah, I already
Do you
did.
have a few
Don't worry
minutes to
about
talk?
that.
One-on-one?
Sure. I was just watching some mail from home.
Oh, before I go, we saw Caden in a news vid about the Normandy. He's cute. Later, sis.
Let's pretend this never happened.
Are you interested in the lieutenant, Chief?
Fraternization is against regulations, ma'am. Don't ask, don't tell. What's up? You didn't come by to eavesdrop on family mail.
Your family seems to be important to you.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, we've always been close. Me and my sisters especially. With Dad on duty so much, I had to help Mom raise them.
Did your father serve
So I
with the
assume she's the oldest sibling
Yeah,
then.
took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized.
Okay.
But he never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I met Chief. First thing he did was
Shame.
salute.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned her.
I can imagine.
You
What
must
about your
know what
mom?
military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while Dad's away on a 6-month cruise. She has a degree in planetary geology. She and Dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
Shame. I did geography and really enjoy it in high school, and now I study urban planning and sustainability and all that. Not exactly geology, but
You have more
geography
than
is
one
what
sister?
inspired me to do that.
Sounds like
So
a
tell
big
me about your
family.
sisters.
Yeah, I'm the oldest, then Abby, then Lynn. Sarah's the youngest. She's still in high school. With 4 girls, Dad used to say he felt more outnumbered at home than on maneuvers.
Where did you grow up?
All
I
over.
can imagine.
Same as you expect. We transferred a half a dozen times before I finished grade school. Where personnel command sends you, right? I guess that's why I'm so tight with my sisters. We'd have to leave all our friends
I
every
guess.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Her response to that is like that because if you remember, our character background is Spacer, and then we had that heroic moment in the Blitz with Liara mentioned. So basically, both of my parents were in the military, and I grew up on spaceships because, you know, we couldn't really have
I
a
was an
permanent
only child,
position
but I
to
get
stay
the
in.
idea. At
So
least
it does
one of my
sound
parents was always
kind of
on duty.
familiar.
Yeah, military families, eh? With schedules like that, it's a wonder we ever have kids anymore. Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
Sounds like a story. Feel like sharing?
Sarah got herself
Tell me
a
about it.
boyfriend who wanted to go faster than she did, Mike. I didn't think he was a bad kid, just pushy.
Oh boy.
Lynn would send me these worried vid mails, and I'd tell her to relax.
Where were you when this was going on?
I was on active duty. Sarah's graduating high school this year. This was only a couple of years back. They were on Amaterasu. At the time, I was assigned to Chernobog. Same
Right.
cluster, but a dozen Hellwire away. Close enough to talk regularly, too far to make it back in an emergency.
Like I know where those
I
are.
couldn't afford a fast packet flight.
Okay. But
If you
no
really
means
liked her,
no
it
in
wouldn't be
every
pushy.
context, no matter what
Yeah,
year we
of
are
course.
in.
If he didn't ask at all, I'd wonder if he thought Sarah was ugly. Damned if you did. Mike thought they'd go for a romantic walk in the woods, because he figured it was past
Bruh.
time they did the deed. She levered Mike face first into a tree and left. Didn't have a scratch on her. Good thing Mom and Dad had us all learn some kind of self-defense. I
Dang.
took emergency leave and walked Sarah to school for a few days.
But like, do the deed as in first kiss in the woods, or did Mike really want to clap them cheeks in a bush somewhere? Because there's a high difference there, and if it was the second option,
Why
then I
didn't
can
you tell the
understand why he
police?
got face
She said it wouldn't
face
solve
first
the real
into a tree.
problem, and she and Mike would both become household names. It was a small colony. I said it was her call to make, that we should let her do it her way. Mom's
Okay,
pretty
makes
pissed
sense.
about that.
You said all of your sisters learned self-defense?
Lynn did pistol practice.
You mentioned something
but
about
didn't like
self-defense?
it. She's kind of nervous. Sarah took Aikido. Abby decided to learn the sword. She always was a little weird. Likes big skirts and tops you have to tie her into. They do
Bruh.
great things to her figure, though.
Ching ching. Imagine doing sword practice as self-defense. You get someone's trying to rob you in the street. You pull out a katana and whack them
One
up.
of Dad's friends
And
taught
what about
me
you?
Marine hand to hand.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense considering you are a
Traveled all the way
marine.
home to
But that's kind of dedicated for you to walk her to
Like
school
a
for a
day's
few
cruise.
days.
It's not like I was going to Earth or something. My last day out, Mike was waiting for us.
Only it doesn't
Sarah
like
told her
you.
friends, so everyone at school knew what he did. He wasn't happy. I wanted to snap him in half, but Sarah gave me this look, this let me handle it.
I can
need to do
imagine.
this alone look. She kept her cool, God bless her, as he screamed in her face. She just let him vent. Then he tried to punch her. I swear, she just flowed around him. Next thing I knew, he's face down on the sidewalk,
Ooh.
and there's blood everywhere.
That's unbelievable. Sarah must be as good as you.
Better.
You
I
never
more
hit
or
a
less
woman.
straight up puncher. When he swung, she wasn't there anymore, and he fell. She helped him stop the bleeding and had me call an ambulance. She told the paramedics he fell. Before they took him to the hospital, Mike touched Sarah's arm. I thought he was gonna end up on the ground again.
2-0.
But
Mike getting
his head whispered,
clapped.
"I'm sorry," and started crying. And she
Third
hugged him.
time?
The Williams women are a decisive bunch, Commander. We do things
Oh.
when we're ready. Not before.
Softy after all.
Not after.
Your sister's something else. But you didn't mention your father at all.
Yeah.
Was he on deployment?
God dang it.
Dad always wanted to serve in space, but he wanted us to have real ground under our feet. He'd say, space is beautiful, but you can't raise a family there. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All
I guess.
times I've enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that love own. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
I never thought I'd hear you reciting poetry.
Just because I can drill you between the eyes at 100 meters doesn't mean I can't
You
like
read
sensitive
poetry?
stuff. Just don't spread it around. Ulysses was my dad's favorite poem. Every time he shipped out, he recorded me reading it.
Alright,
He
alright.
had a dozen versions when he
Well.
retired.
Does he still like it?
I sure hope so. I read it to his grave every time I go home. Dad passed on a few years
Really?
back. He's probably still watching, though.
You mean from wherever we go after death?
Dead on, Skipper. He's with God now.
Rest in peace.
That's not a... Probably still watching, though.
You mean from wherever we go after death?
Dead on, Skipper. He's with God now.
No, it's not a
That's
problem.
not a
Everyone
problem with you,
have,
is it?
has the right
That
to
I
believe
believe
what
in
they
God?
want. I'm not religious myself, but
Everyone has the
Yeah,
right
exactly.
to believe what they want. Says so in the Alliance Charter, only with fancier words.
I'm glad you're open-minded about it. I've met a few people who are really weirded out by my faith. Because I work in space, I can't believe in a higher power? Jeez. Hello, have you people looked out the window? How can you look at this galaxy and not believe in something?
yeah, I guess that's a fair
I
point.
should get back to my
But
duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
you can be religious and be in space. I don't see an issue with that. I myself am not religious. I have a few friends who are, or I know people who are. I have absolutely no issue with that. Everyone can believe what they want. But thanks for the talk. I'll see you when I see you, I guess. I know that doesn't really work because we're gonna go into another mission and she's gonna be right there, but yeah. See ya.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
Alright, Rex.
What do you want, Shepard?
Why did you become a mercenary?
Lots of reasons.
Such as?
Such as, I needed to get out of our system. I needed to eat.
Okay.
I needed to survive.
Why not stay and help your people?
Really?
I tried to help. That's why I had to leave.
Oh,
What
great.
happened?
I was betrayed. I was head of a small tribe. We were trying to restore order after the war, but the other tribes were against us. They followed Jared, one of the few warlords who survived the war with the Turians.
Okay.
But he was old, and so were his ideas. He wanted to continue the war. He wanted us to fight. Turians, Solarians, each other. It didn't matter.
That sounds like an utterly dumb idea.
Fighting.
What did you want?
I just wanted Jared to shut up. To stop his ranting. I wanted him to stop leading the tribes astray. But he couldn't understand how much things had changed. Numbers to go to war. Even if we did, the genophage made sure we couldn't replenish our numbers fast enough. I told them all to forget about war. We needed to focus on breeding.
Rex is smarter than he seems.
One generation. And for a while, we were getting through. Some of the tribes
I'm guessing Jared didn't like that.
I take it the warlord didn't appreciate that.
No, he didn't. He arranged a crush with the tribes. A meeting on neutral ground.
Right.
He wanted to talk. We met at the Hollows, near the graves of our ancestors. The skulls of our dead laid bare to remind us where we come from.
Okay, sounds like a cool place.
It's as sacred as any Krogan place can be.
I mean, that sounds like a trap.
Sounds like a trap to me. You must have suspected as much.
I did. But when your father invites you to a crush, well, there are some laws that even we hold sacred.
Damn.
Jared was your father?
He was. Until that day. We talked, but we didn't get anywhere. When it was clear that I wouldn't join him, he gave the signal. His men leapt from the graves of our ancestors like Krogan undead. The few that were loyal to me died quickly. I escaped with my life. I sank my dagger deep into my father's chest. That is why I left. And that's why I'll never go back.
That's a fair reason, don't blame you.
You must have family other than your father. Don't you miss them?
You're trying to make me cry, Shepard.
No.
I've got some unfinished business with my family. But that's
really
all.
What kind of business?
Before I left, I made an oath to my father's father. I swore to recover my family's battle armor. It was taken from him after the uprising.
So where is it?
Who has it?
Originally, it was taken by the Turian military. We weren't allowed armor or weapons after the war.
Demilitarization.
Now, it's in the hands of Taun Actus, a Turian scum who collects relics from the war. He's made millions selling Krogan artifacts that were stolen from my people.
Ah, that's not cool.
He's got several bases where he stores his goods. All fortified and guarded. I just don't know which base has my family's armor.
We're gonna look for it. Don't you worry.
Just tell me where to start looking.
I'll upload the data to your nav system. But Commander, I want to be there when you find him.
Alright. We'll make sure you're there.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
And... oh. The game froze there. Thought they crashed. I would have cried if that was the case. Let's talk to Tali.
Shepard, I'm glad you're here.
She's feeling a lot happier than we spoke to her last time.
Good to see you smiling again, so to speak.
I'm sleeping much better now. I guess I'm getting used to how quiet your ship is. I still think a lot about my pilgrimage, though. I know Steren's our top priority, but with all the worlds we go to, I was hoping to find something to bring back to the flotilla.
Like
what? What are you hoping to find?
Usually, people bring back something like a derelict ship we can use for salvage. But I need something bigger. There's a lot expected of me.
What's so special about you?
It's my father. He's the senior member of the Admiralty Board. He's one of
Oh,
only
wow.
5 people who can overrule the decisions of the Conclave for the good of the migrant fleet. My father is responsible for the lives of 17 million people. Our entire race is in his hands, and I'm his only child.
That's like the population of Netherlands. So you're basically
So are
royalty?
you some kind of heir to the Quarian throne or something?
No, it doesn't work that way. My father's position isn't hereditary. I'll probably never serve on the Admiralty Board myself. Officially, I'm just the same as any other citizen. But it doesn't work that way in practice. People have always treated me differently because of who my father is.
In a good or a bad
all
way?
kinds of special privileges.
I probably had it easier than most growing up all good. People like my father have enemies, and they're not above using me to get to him.
Why didn't you
But
tell me
I
this
had
before?
no idea.
I guess I'm just tired of people judging me because of who my father is. Everyone's waiting for me to
that's
do
a fair-
something great on my
fair point.
pilgrimage. Something that will forever change our lives for the better. If I don't, it's like I failed, and that reflects badly on both me and my father.
What would you need to bring
Well,
back
we
to
don't
make
want
everyone
that.
happy?
Something that would help us better understand the Geth. They've changed significantly since the exile. They've continued to evolve. We've done our best to study them, but it's not easy. They're very reclusive. Until recently, they never went beyond the borders of the Veil. And all the Geth we run into
Yeah,
now
we
are
already
under
know that.
Stanim's control. We'd need to find Geth operating on their own, independently. But I don't want this to get in the way
That
of our
might
mission,
be
Shepard.
kinda difficult.
First, we stop Seren. Then I'll worry about my own problems.
Alright, well, it's fair enough.
What was your father
How's your father like?
It wasn't easy growing up as the daughter of one of the Admiralty. Even before he joined the board, he was a prominent figure. People looked to him for leadership. He had to set an example.
Sounds like he
and
knew
he
stuff.
expected the same of his daughter. Plus, he was pretty strict. A military man through and through. He never allowed me to settle for anything less than excellence. As a kid, I sometimes felt like he was pushing me too hard. I'm old enough to appreciate what he taught me. The world doesn't owe us anything. If we want something in life, we have to earn it.
That's
Where was
factual.
your mother in all this?
Mother was around,
That's factual.
but she always seemed to kind of blend into the background. Almost like she was overshadowed by my father. He tends to do that to people. She passed on about 5 years ago. Some airborne virus that swept through the fleet. Happens sometimes when the filters start to break down. I think my father
Rip.
took it pretty hard. After she was gone, he became even more focused on his work. I think that was his way of dealing with the grief.
Keeping busy can keep the mind from thinking on things that will drag you down, so not surprised. But both Tali and Ash don't have a mother. That's... Wait, no. Tali doesn't have a mother, and Ash lost her father.
Sounds like a tough
So yeah, that's the right way of doing
You
it.
don't resent your father
So were
at
you
all?
close to your dad?
Like I said, it wasn't easy. My father's not the kind of person you bond with. And he wasn't around all that much. Too busy. People counted on him, and he took his duties seriously. Even when he was around, he always seemed a bit distant. Like his mind was always somewhere else. Come to think of it, I can't ever remember seeing him
Probably in
smile.
work.
Not once. It's like he was always weighed down by all that responsibility. I mean, I know he cares about me, but he never
Aw.
really showed it. I guess the best thing I can say about my father is that I respect him.
That's better than most people can say. Well, not most, but some people can say, so not the end of the world.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Weird how the only way to get out of this is to say, let's change topics. We already talked about the Koreans, the Geth, the pilgrimage,
I should go.
so
See
we're
you
technically
later.
not talking about anything else other than saying goodbye. See you later. But that's been episode 12. We've talked to all of our crew members. Some of them have personal errands, did like help on. Garrus wants to find Dr. Salion. Rex needs help finding his family armor. And Tali said that if we run across independent Geth, it could be helpful for his pilgrimage. Also established that I'm interested in Liara, and that Liara is interested in me. Caden knows that we're just gonna stay friends. I think he took it rather well, but he's 32, so it should be expected. Thank you for watching this episode. If you... well, blah, blah, blah. Great. Thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like, and I hope to see you in the next one. So goodbye from me.